Notre Dame didn't get the strong games in the preseason they were hoping for. Now their schedule's kind of shaky. Everything's based, I think, on getting back on the map with this win.
No question. That really hurt them, I think, losing to Notre Dame because they lost 3 games in that NIT. It was all set up for Ohio State to get to New York into the Final Four of the preseason NIT. They would have played Siena in the second round. It would have guaranteed them 2 strong games once they got to New York. This really hurts their strength of schedule, and it does not give them the test that they need going into Big Ten play. But you are not going to get tested anywhere more than when you step into Allen Fieldhouse. It is going to be loud, and it's going to be a real test for them.
Yeah, they got veterans, of course, who've been through it, but still, when it's your first road game, we kipped up to the holiday party, but no, he's going to stick around. You stick around because Eric Chenoweth and the Jayhawks battling the Buckeyes just minutes away in Lawrence. Ron Franklin, Dick Vitale have the call next.
Just 9 days from Christmas, these folks think it is an early present because number 13 against number 6. Great basketball. What more could you ask for? Today was the final day of examinations, but do you think these kids went home? Heck no, there's basketball to be played in the state of Kansas. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Dick Vitale. Great matchup between the Big Ten and the Big 12. And there are so many individual matchups to look at in this game, Dick, but if you had to select one that was most important, what would it be?
Well, you know, you talk about Ohio State, you talk about one of the dynamic backcourts in basketball with Penn and Red. You look at Kansas, you see Boschee and Gregory, but the key player could be Ken Johnson. He must stay out of foul trouble for Ohio State. They need his size, his shot blocking ability against the size and the number of players that Kansas can rotate on the interior. So it is really a must that he plays at least 30 minutes, Johnson, and Ron, that he has a big game.
So the starting lineups in this one tonight for Jim O'Brien and his youngsters from Ohio State. Penn, Red, Brown, Reese, and Johnson. And Michael Red, the runner-up in high school to Mr. Basketball. Who won it? Well, the guy who also plays in this ball game tonight, Kenny Gregory, who was out of Columbus, Ohio. Maybe a little individual dueling there. And as you heard Chris Fowler say just a moment ago, also when you look at the lineup, George Reese was a high school teammate of Kenny Gregory's in Columbus, Ohio. A lot of hugs before this game tonight. Great admiration and respect for one another.
Well, Ron, they played together in a summer league against each other, and the bottom line is Red was not as recruited as Mr. Gregory, but Red said, hey, I got a trip to the Final Four. He doesn't have one.
Chenoweth to jump it up against Johnson, and it'll be the Bucks first.
Scooty Penn, I'll tell you, Ron, he was confident at practice today. A premier point guard. I think he's the premier point guard in America.
I think you could look for Kansas particularly early to see them really step it up defensively. Roy was not pleased with that last ball game defensively at all.
Well, he wasn't pleased against Michigan State. He thought that they were a little bit intimidated. They let him get beat physically.
Well, it takes just that. Scooty Penn first to get on the board.
He has that ability to knock the perimeter shot as well as penetrate.
Boschee, the most prolific three-point shooter, misses, but Chenoweth comes away with the rebound.
He needs 3 more to hit the 100 mark.
Penn got a piece of that, but knocked it away from Boschee.
As Jay Billis said in the studio so accurately, shooting 52%. As you look at Roy Williams, 312 wins in his 12th year. I can't comprehend. That number is unbelievable.
Boschee, I mentioned about how prolific he is from outside the arc. 63% in the early part of the season after 8 games. Not bad. Boschee, foot on the line. That's a 2-pointer. In he goes.
Yes, sir. You got your eyes right on target. It's a good matchup. He said he's looking forward to playing Scooty Penn. But he'll get his test tonight here. Boshee's not going to back down from anyone. A confident South.
Penn to pull the trigger.
Ohio State doesn't have the depth that they have at Kansas.
Taken away by Collison, and the Jayhawks move it up the floor with Bradford. Chenoweth, and he's fouled.
They're going to try to establish Chenoweth inside. It was a good look by Bradford. You know, Bradford's Mr. Versatility for them. He leads them in steals, leads them in assists. But they got to get the big guy right here, Mr. Chenoweth, to start to dominate on the interior. He's been really soft early this year.
You know, one of the articles in the Kansas City paper talked about he went in and he looked at video with his head coach and with his assistant coaches. And they talked with him about, rather than use his big body, his hips, his backside on rebounding, that he was trying to gain position by pushing, and as a result, he was not getting the job done. So right now, he's down 3 average in rebound and in scoring, Dick, and I think confidence-wise, he's searching.
Yeah, he also really has been stung in the paper by the student paper, so that criticism really bothered him. But he had a big game in his last game, and I know it was against a cupcake, Pittsburgh State, but the bottom line is he did score 20, and he was 10 for 10 on the foul line.
He needs that confidence, no question about it. That ball was blocked by Chenoweth.
Good job by Chenoweth stepping out.
Here comes Bradford.
He can pass the ball, Bradford.
So the turnover, and this is the kind of thing that Roy Williams said just prior to the ball game. We have been making silly errors turning the ball over.
Jim O'Brien saying, think. He's done a great job at Ohio State. One of the truly nice guys in the business. If you can't like Jim O'Brien, you're in trouble.
You're right.
And what a job he did last year. Win 27 games, go to the Final Four. Did an amazing job.
Hand check on Boshi. It'll be his first, team's first.
You know, I look at this Ohio State team. They returned 4 starters, Ron, but they really missed Jason Singleton. Singleton was such a defensive guy, was tenacious, but his little push. You don't want to do that, Scooty.
Reese left alone, and Big George will knock it down. The senior out of Columbus Independence played, as we said, with Kenny Gregory in high school.
They want to get a little more scoring out of Reese. He's got that good 15-foot jump shot.
Inside Collison.
Nice diagonal pass. Reese went to the deck. They took advantage. Collison open for the layup.
Reese is not a big 6'7". They list him at 240, but he's not a real muscular kid. As Chenoweth grabs it away.
Scooty Penn and Michael Redd both really not shooting well early this year.
Gregory, his first deuce of the night.
He's a slasher. He said, hey, I'm playing for bragging rights when I go back to Columbus, Ohio. They're all fired up here, baby. This is one of the great environments in college hoops.
Hanging jumper won't go. And again, at the other end, Gregory pulls up, misses the jumper. Chenoweth is right there and has it taken away by Penn.
Got to go after the ball a little bit more aggressively. Scooty protecting the basketball really well.
Brian Brown doesn't get it.
Well, that was Brown. Yeah, that was Brown. It wasn't Penn. Yeah, it was Brown.
Does not get the credit sometimes that some of the other folks on this ball club do, but he is extremely efficient, as you saw right there.
He's a good defensive player. Came out of Bishop Loughlin in Brooklyn, New York.
Penn too hard off the back iron. Stolen by Penn, and then he bounced it on the inline.
What a storied career. You look at Jim O'Brien, who was at Boston College, had Scooty Penn there. He was Rookie of the Year in the Big East, and then he won the MVP of the Big East tournament his sophomore year as they won the Big East championship. He went to the NCAA, and then what a story. He took this team that was 8-22 and just absolutely transferred them into a dominant basketball team.
Number 0, Gooden, a freshman out of Richmond, California, and folks, you haven't seen him play, you're going to hear a lot about him. Also, Luke Axtell checks into the lineup, and that jump hook by Chenoweth drew nothing but air. On the inline, it'll go back to Ohio State.
And watch him trying to establish position down inside. He gets good position, and now you got to go up strong. Didn't go up really strong to the basket. Kenny Johnson's got to give him some point production inside as well. He's got a little jump hook. He's been improving his offense.
It'll stay with Ohio State with 19 seconds on the shot clock.
Roy Williams, you talk about a home court. They had won 62 in a row on this floor, the longest win streak in America, until it was stopped by a Big Ten team, Iowa.
I did that game last year. Iowa must have played 12 kids in that ball game, and everybody contributed.
Dr. Tom Davis. They got another date with a Big Ten school who I really think is going to be special at the end of the year, Saturday with Illinois.
Yeah. Double team as a trap in the corner. That was not away by Gooden. It'll stay with the Buckeyes and a timeout. So we'll take it with them. Ohio State 7, Kansas 6. We'll be right back. The first 4 minutes of this opening half. Let's go back and look at high school.
Oh, you take a look at Michael Redd. We're going to see him do what he does best, and that's score, baby. Here he is, Michael Redd with the J. And then we look at Kenny Gregory. Watch what he does best. He's a slasher. He attacks the glass. There's the elevation, the jam. That's why he was one of the most sought-after players in America.
Look at those numbers in high school, Dick. 25 and 25-7.
You know,
Rebounds virtually the same.
You look at Michael Redd's numbers in college. Coming into this year, he scored 1,361 points. He has the chance to be the first guy in the Big Ten to get 2,000 by the end of his junior year. There's the high school coach.
Fay, yeah. Gregory's high school coach here to see this one tonight. By the way, Redd, no field goal attempts up until now.
Yeah, he knocked that one right down from the perimeter. He's been inconsistent shooting from the three, but he can really get to the rack.
Boshi way outside. That's not going to hurt that 60+% from outside the arc.
It's nice when you got a point guard that can drill that long range, Jay. Now here he is working real hard, trying to put a lot of pressure on the basketball defensively.
Marlon London in the game. In fact, he was trying to stay with Redd, and they lost him.
Nice backdoor cut off the weak side. Brought the ball to the high post. Brought the defense staring at the basketball. Good move.
Chenoweth outside. And he gets the friendly roll.
Well, the big guy showing he's got inside-outside ability. You know, I talk about pressure on the basketball by Boshi. No one put pressure on a ball like a 97 Jacques Vaughn.
Just left alone, and that three in and out. Luke Axtell. They're not booing, they're going to Luke.
Redd and Penn are both shooting under 40% in the first 5 games.
In and out on left.
Chenoweth looking good on
Chenoweth.
Good offensive rebound, active. He said he had to be a little bit more active inside, and he is. I tell you, Boshi's really putting a lot of pressure on the ball. He's making Penn work with every dribble maneuver.
Redd against Axtell. The lefty misses on that three-point attempt. Reese against Gooden.
Skinny Penn really takes charge of this offense. He's the man in command, just like Khalid El-Amin up in Connecticut. And they can't wait to get Cleves down at Michigan State.
Good switch there. They almost got him in the turnover. Tip back out to Penn and a fresh 35 for the Buckeyes. Tip back out this time. It's Boshi.
I like to run fade screens off their motion game. They tried to get a little fade screen right there. He got range. He's got range, baby. He's got range, Chris Fowler. He can take it downtown. He shot that from Austin, Texas. Played in high school with Chris Mim, the superstar of Texas.
Westlake High School.
Transferred from Texas.
Redd for three.
Got to make that open jump shot.
And London knocked it away from Gooden, and they'll get the ball right back.
Look at that hairdo. I told him before the game I like that dude, but look at that stroke. Look at that range. I know Rick Barnes would love to see him in a Texas uniform.
You know, he's let his hair grow out. Last year he had almost a butch cut.
I try to let mine grow out, and I don't have the same results. I can't understand it. I mean, I can't understand it. I told him before the game, I said, Luke, can I touch your dude? He wanted to touch my dude.
I think it's because Duke. I think because he got a girlfriend. I don't think that's your problem.
Hey, Roy Williams talking to Donnie Gray. We got a mixture here, Big 12, Big 10.
Oksokolic comes into the lineup. Chobe is what he goes by. Number 34, freshman out of Yugoslavia. Oksokolic.
We worked on that name, Chobe Oksokolic.
And Dudley in the lineup as well. Heinrich is in for the Kansas Jayhawks.
Skinny Penn really attacks the basketball. He's got such strength to that body. He'll play at the next level. I know a lot of scouts I talked to before the game really like this kid. Look at him attacking the basket right here. He's a winner. He's a competitor, fierce competitor. What a year for some outstanding point guards in college basketball. I love El-Amin. You gotta like Mateen Cleves. A real new breed of cats too on the scene. Jason Gardner, Jason Williams.
Ball game.
Hendrick's a guy that allows him to get a lot of pressure and practice head-to-head when he plays against Boshi. They can really rotate at that position. And that's one of the strengths of Kansas this year. They're a very deep team. Did not play well against Michigan State. They took charge of that game, jumped out 23 on them, and then they really fought back and got it to 5, but Michigan State sustained. Oh, dump it inside. They missed Gooden. They're going to zone somewhat here. Little 2-3 matchup.
Gooden tried to get it back to Axtell, and they said it's going to be an offensive foul. Gregory.
Good call right there by Donnie Gray.
This is a veteran crew. Steve Welmer is the referee, and the two umpires, Donnie Gray, who just made the call, and Jim Burr, who called the national championship game last year.
There's that contact. See, Heinrich really works hard putting pressure. He's part of the three outstanding freshmen with Collison and also with Mr. Gooden. He said, I wouldn't trade my three for any three in America.
Red knocks that one down, and all of a sudden now he heats up as he's got 7 points.
I thought he's got a chance in his career if he stays all 4 years, and I hope he does, to catch Calvin Cheney.
Oh, good look inside, but he hit the bottom of the rim. But Ohio State comes away with it on the turnover by KU. Penn lost it, hit it on the inline.
This one of the real tough places to come on a road and play. You'll grow up quickly coming out here. There's a little coaching going on. Roy Williams and Gooden. Gooden, one of the California players. They've had so much success recruiting in California. Look at this record, 71-3. How'd you like to come here? 71-3 in the last 6 years. I mentioned California. They signed a great recruit, probably the best number 2 guard in America. Deshaun Stevenson from Fresno will be here next year.
Was partially blocked. Vukcevic, by the way, the foul was on him a moment ago. It's his first.
A nice feint.
Takes it strong to the hoop. Not there. Gets the follow and a whistle inside. And going to be an offensive foul against the Bucks.
They're missing also Boban Savovic. All these names. They're missing him, a big-time three-point shooter with an Achilles heel problem.
So we'll take a break. 16-15 KU. We'll be right back. Under 12 to play until halftime. And don't forget, Tuesday on ESPN, the Jimmy V Classic. This doubleheader features 3 top 20 teams. At 7 o'clock, it's Indiana against North Carolina. Then at 9 o'clock, Rutgers taking on number 8 Florida. Jimmy V Classic Tuesday on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
I can't wait to get out there for that. As you look at Jim O'Brien, he knows a little bit about the responsibility of Jimmy V Classic. He lost his beautiful wife, Chris. She was a beautiful lady. She died so young to breast cancer, and Jimmy has 2 beautiful girls, Erin and Amy. Erin's now coaching down at Vanderbilt, and Amy coaches a high school junior varsity team in the Boston area. Beautiful family. He lost his wife so young.
Tip, Gooden couldn't get it to go. Got a second opportunity, not there. The other end, Johnson's the one that's got to heat up. He is 0 for 0 from the field. No rebounds, 1 block and a foul. And at the other end, Heinrich saved it, and Gregory will score.
What a great job of hustle. I mean, that is hustle. Pure and simple. That's a coach's dream when you see kids play that hard and make that extra effort to create an opportunity. If I'm Gregory, I'm going and hugging the guy.
Gooden skied for the rebound. A Penn puts up the second follow. Couldn't get it to go, and he comes back with another one. Can Red get the 3? Nope.
There's Gooden on the inside. He was the MVP at a Great Alaska shootout.
Dudley fortunate, actually, he didn't get a foul called over the back.
He has the ability to shoot up on top as well. I'm going to try to post him inside.
Good stroke here. Collison misses, though, from just out beyond the free throw line.
They're excited about his future. Came out of Iowa. Remember, they had a great one from Iowa here. Rafe LaFrentz, baby. What a team they had in '97. LaFrentz and Pierce and Pollard and Vaughn and Haas.
Of course, Heinrich is from the state of Iowa as well. He's from Sioux City.
Yeah, Steve Alford says not coming back there anymore. Steve Alford's having to lock up that state.
Shot clock is down to 10. Well, that's a good dish, but a little too hard.
I'll tell you one thing, Schottenstein Arena, everybody says the center is absolutely beautiful. And Andy Geiger, I got to salute him for hiring Jim O'Brien. I didn't think Jim O'Brien would fit in the Midwest. I thought he was a pure, simple New England kind of guy in the Boston area. But, oh, as he fit in beautifully. And he's just a great guy. The kids love him. And he's got great basketball IQ and knowledge.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Red, does he know it? Nope. Going to run out.
Yes, he does. He got a
shot clock violation.
Yes, sir. Didn't make contact.
Poor communication there, and Coach O'Brien will be talking to his floor leaders about that. Everybody's got to communicate.
Jim was a heck of a player at St. Bonaventure and then went on to play in the ABA. There's that zone. They're going to zone. They don't have enough bodies to go up and down and play man-to-man, so they're zoning somewhat, trying to save some people and keep Johnson out of foul trouble.
Chenoweth rattles it down.
That's going to help his confidence, Ron. He's knocked down 2 from up on the foul line. He's got some nice touch for a big player.
He's got 6 points, averaging almost 11 a game. But this time last year, or at the end of last year, about 3.5 points over that. Stood there to take the charge. Deadly ran over him. No foul call.
Oh, that's a great job of hustling right there. But I believe they're going to wave it off, but at least he hustled and scrapped. Jimmy Burr with the call on Collison over the back.
Yep.
Now here's Gregory going to explode to the goal. That's why he shoots in his 60s. He's a good transition player, but it comes off short. And here's Collison right over the top of the back. But if a guy's going to get a foul, I'm coaching. I want to see him get one where he's aggressive.
A hustle foul just like that. First foul on him.
You know, I talked about that 97 team. They were 34-2, lost a heartbreaker to Missouri, and then got beat by the ultimate national champs, Arizona, who had finished 5th in the conference, and they were a number 5 seed and went out and beat 3 number 1 seeds, including Kansas, North Carolina, and Kentucky.
And I really think in Roy's heart, he felt as though that was the team to get him his first national championship, don't you?
Yeah, I think there's a little empty feeling, the fact they haven't been back to the Final Four since '93, but this man has been a big-time winner in the collegiate scene. It's amazing, averaging over 27 W's a year. They got to get in the gap in his zone now, attack gaps and seams. You can use dribble penetration to attack that gap. The skip pass is effective.
Motion for 3. Chenoweth with the tip.
I'll tell you, Chenoweth is really being a factor inside. He's getting the best of Johnson. Even though they're zoning, Johnson's got responsibility on the interior.
Biggest lead in the night, 7.
And here comes the crowd. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. One of my favorite chants.
Foul's going to be called on London. Now, what I have to wonder, I thought he had taken the ball to the floor, that it was a travel, double dribble, or did he not?
No, not really, Ron. They got him on a foul, though, prior, I believe. Johnson at least showed a little activity on the inside, was trying to make an effort. Gonna see him inside here. They get a bump before the shot.
Well, what I'm saying is, when he went back to the floor, they say I thought he'd already dribbled. That was a double dribble. 2 fouls on Collison.
Johnson really has improved from when he arrived out of Detroit, Michigan. Didn't look good on that free throw, but really has improved tremendously from what they anticipated when he arrived on that campus in Columbus. Was a major factor last year in the postseason.
Boshi.
They're going to push on Chenoweth right there. Can't get away with it right in front of Donnie Gray. Not going to get away with it.
Got it. All right.
He bobbled a basketball, then he put it to the deck. They call a bobble. He didn't have control.
No possession.
Yeah,
okay.
no possession. And making Penn work with every movement. And making him, see, you can't get to put a hand on him. That's a hand check. You can't touch him. They double it up on the perimeter. See, if you double up, you're going to leave a guy open. They rotated the ball over, and Penn made him pay for that.
Penn now with 7 points.
So many outstanding new freshman point guards.
Collison working hard for the hoop. Back inside, working on the board.
Yeah, he's a kid that's very tough around the basket. Got good low post moves. There's such an abundance of diaper dandies. We're seeing more and more kids come right out of high school and make contributions. And a lot of that's because they play AAU competition. They play internationally. The one positive about the AAU, they get a lot of experience.
Reese with the foul. It's his first. Well, Ohio State down by 7 just a moment ago. They cut it to 2. And a reminder, Saturday at noon on ESPN, a chance to see these Jayhawks again in top 25 action when they take on number 22 Illinois. Then Saturday night it's your triple header. And take a look at this lineup. North Carolina taking on Miami. And then at 9, Cincinnati faces Xavier. And at midnight, Oklahoma State against UNLV in the late night of that Las Vegas showdown. It's a triple dip Saturday on ESPN.
I can't wait to get to the Queen City. They tell me that rivalry is special. special. I'll be going there tomorrow, and I can't wait to get to that Cincinnati Gardens.
You got Cincinnati set. I got them again next Wednesday against Oklahoma down in Norman.
They were certainly impressive to win big today on the road at St. Louis. Bobby Huggins got himself a dynamite club defensively.
Bochy, nice move. By the way, Penn has got 4 rebounds as Luke Axtell lights it up again.
Bochy created that with a little dribble penetration, and then Axtell spotted up. I tell you, he's going to get a lot more minutes. Jay mentioned earlier he's averaging about 10 a game, only playing about 15 minutes, and you're going to see his minutes go up and up as the season progresses.
Gregory gets bumped and taken away by Axtell.
Well, he got
Gregory.
He said, that's the Columbus. I'm the Columbus Condor. And there's his mom and dad. They said, that's my boy. That's my boy, Kenny Gregory. Yes, sir. They want to go back to Columbus, dancing in the streets.
Leather, adrenaline. The new Lincoln LS, Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Hold on. Make this holiday an action-packed DVD holiday with 3 films.
There he is!
Starring 3 serious guys.
Keep him up, boys.
Who aren't afraid to spread some holiday cheer. Buy them today on DVD.
It's time. Time for your heartburn to kick in because your heartburn relief gave out. It happens 2 or more days a week, even though you've treated it and changed your diet. That frequent, persistent heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease, potentially serious.
It's Prilosec time. Time to see your doctor about prescription Prilosec. Your results may vary, but for many people, Prilosec provides 24 hours of complete heartburn relief with 1 daily dose. Ask your doctor for more information about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. 24 hours of complete heartburn relief is possible. It's Prilosec time.
Hey, Ron, we're going to take a look at dribble penetration and how to kick the ball out to Axtell for the open shot. It's going to start with this guy here. He's going to get into this area here. Well, let's take a look right now. Now watch Bochy. He's going to make penetration right here. Freeze it. Right here. Now watch right here. Axtell's going to come here. He's going to kick the ball out, and that baby's going down. Take a look right here. There's Axtell spotting up, squares the body, and he knocks it down. He's got some kind of stroke. Now watch here. They're going to bump around on the perimeter. They're going to bump him. That's going to happen away from home, and they're going to convert it to a deuce the other way because this guy can finalize. Look at the high riser. He's the elevator man. He's jumping like Fowler. I mean, Fowler's jumping out of his seat in the studio. He's doing basketball. He's getting away from the pigskin.
But not for long. The whole week begins Saturday.
Oh, they're doubling up. They're going to have to reverse the basketball and try to catch the open man.
Way outside on that one. Tipped up by Reese.
Good job. I'll tell you, Reese really works hard on the inside. They got to get better shots. They're not getting the kind of shots and playing with the kind of basketball savvy that Jim O'Brien would like to see.
Brown.
Oh, great effort right there. Super effort by Red.
Oh, I thought Reese knocked it out of bounds. So did Roy.
I'll tell you, look at the Big Ten. I was talking to Jim today at practice, and I'm going to tell you something. When you look up there with Michigan State, I think, to me, the best team in America, when they get their full cast, is Michigan State. And right there, Connecticut and Cincinnati. I love all 3 of those clubs. Arizona's got a great young backcourt.
I was really impressed with
Yeah, they're impressive as well.
Woods runs the floor extremely well.
Yes, sir. And Richard Jefferson's a slasher. White's a warrior inside, and Gardner and Arenas for stars.
Missed it. There's Gooden. Brett Darby.
Oh, what a great look.
Missed Chenoweth twice, and they knock it back out. Bochy resets. Gregory. I mean, he says to heck with that 20-footer. I'd like to slash to the hoop and put it up.
Well, that's going his strength, Ron. He's not a long-range shooter. In fact, he struggles on the free throw line. He's 8 for 23 on the line. He's got 8 points already today. He's a slasher and a driver. He's a transition player.
Penn took it into traffic and paid the price, and then that could be an intentional foul. No. He is pointing at Gooden.
Jimmy Burr's got Gooden with a bump. See, I was talking about knowing your strength. You got to know your strength. His strength is being a driving player. They get Gooden for clearing out the man before he took the ball to the basket.
And there's the crowd right here, since Gregory got grabbed by the shoulder, they wanted an intentional foul, and the other foul, Jimmy said, nope, the other one had already occurred.
So look at Roy Williams, former assistant coach, saluting Andy Geiger for the great selection of Jim O'Brien. What about Bob Frederick? When you think about that AD and the stack of resumes that he had for this job, he hired a guy that was 10 years an assistant coach with no head coaching experience, because a former Jayhawk player recommended him highly by the name of Dean Smith.
Axtell leans, kisses it too hard off the glass.
Okay, one thing about these Ohio State kids, they're a bunch of tough competitors.
Gooden knocks it away from Penn.
This is a good game for Ohio State. Whether they win this game or lose this game, this is the kind of game they need to get a true evaluation where they are right now during the season. As they talked about in the studio, they lost games when they did not advance in the NIT. Losing that game to Notre Dame was major. David Graves shot that shot at the end, and it was a great win for Matt Doherty's first game as a coach, former Kansas assistant.
That was Gregory who helped knock it away. Axtell for three. Luke barely drew iron on that one. Luke hustles for it, gets it back out. And here comes Ohio State as Reese juggles it, and then the offensive foul is going to be called against Michael Red.
I tell you, Jimmy Burr with the call. Those officials are really working. Red said, how did he get that on me? That was a ball. You take a look right here. I thought it was a good call. I thought he definitely charged. Out of control. There it is. No doubt about it. Great call by Jimmy Burr.
5 team fouls against Ohio State.
Trying to get their motion game now, Kansas. Man-to-man defense, came out of the zone.
About to go under 4 minutes left until halftime in what has been a very fast-paced first half, which is not surprising. Chenoweth has it blocked. Nice defense inside. Good job by Ken Johnson.
That's what he does really well. Ken Johnson's an outstanding shot blocker, one of the best in the history of Ohio State. I tell you, sitting on the sideline for Kansas is Ben Miller. His dad, Eldon Miller, coached at Ohio State. As we're going to watch Johnson on the inside.
This is his second block.
Yes, sir. Good timing. Good timing right there by Johnson. Kept himself on the ground. Hey, I talked about Eldon Miller. Remember when he had a dynamite trio? When he had Ramsey and he had Herb Williams and our guy, Martin Kellogg. Mr. K was a big-time offensive rebounder. And, Ohio State's had so much tradition. I want to send my best wishes to one of my favorites, Fred Taylor, beautiful guy who did such a phenomenal job coaching the Buckeyes 3 consecutive times to the Final Four, won the national title in 1960, Havlicek, Siegfried, and Lucas, and a guy by the name of Robert Montgomery Knight. Don't tell Bobby I'm saying this, but Bobby sat on the pine, and he was the best cheerleader in America. He used to go, way to go, Hondo, way to go, Siegfried, way to go, Lucas, way to go, baby.
You'll hear about that.
Oh, no, I'm going to see him Tuesday. I'm only kidding, General.
Chenoweth. Nice, quick first step, just off the mark with the shot. Reese comes away with the rebound.
He said he's been thinking a little too much on the shot.
Penn, not there.
Tries to get that little floater in the lane. Assistant coach Paul Biancardi told me that Penn is such a competitor. Hates to lose. Flat out hates to lose. And that becomes contagious with everyone around you when you got a point guard with that kind of attitude.
Until a couple of minutes ago, Johnson did not have a rebound. He's got 3 quick ones. And the turnover here in can't believe it.
Little slam jam bam. A little dipsy-doo dunkaroo. A little dunking contest.
Jim thought there was way too much contact on that one. He is up and talking to Steve Welmer as he came down the floor. The biggest lead right here, 9 points.
They're really trapping, making him shoot the ball quickly.
Just like the last time they had the largest lead. Scooney comes down and and hits a three.
Well, that's what a PTPer's got to do. Your star, your All-American's got to make the big play when you're struggling, and Scooney delivered.
And he's got a dozen.
Oh, I love this kid. This kid's got stardom all over his chest. Number 0, Drew Goody. He's got stardom all over his chest. Good low post player, can go outside as well. Kansas has a special bounce to him tonight I did not see against Michigan State. I thought they were a little intimidated by Hudson and Peterson and that whole gang.
Darby. It's a travel.
Yeah, he hesitated.
Just never could get the handle on the basketball. And there's a break. 2:25 left until halftime. And this baby has been up and down. But it's been the defense of the Kansas Jayhawks that has caused plays like 3-25. Kansas leads it. And coming up on the courtyard by Marriott halftime report, Chris Fowler and Jay Billis. Cincinnati starts conference play. Battle of South Carolina. And a preview of SC Long Beach State. That's the midnight game.
I'll tell you, talk about Battle of South Carolina. What a struggle. Clemson. They lost to South Carolina State, Wofford. And now they got to play in the ACC coming up in January. It could be a tough time for Larry Shiat's team. But I'll tell you another thing. You talk about Cincinnati. You got to love Kenyon Martin. His development, he's become a complete player. He stayed in school. I hope young kids watch. You see a guy like that, he's matured as a player. That's why Cincinnati's dynamite. I can't wait to go to Cincinnati tomorrow and be there for that game with Xavier.
Henrik slips in the corner, loses it out of bounds. Oh, look at this. 3 true freshmen, green as they might be, as great as they will be on the floor for Kansas right now. Heinrich, who just committed the turnover. Collison is out there, and also Goodman.
And do they get a great one next year? What do you see? This Deshaun Stevenson. Everybody raves about him from Fresno, California.
Reese, nice job of bouncing off Heinrich.
They got to get more shots for Reese. I'll tell you, Reese really a nice player. Good 15-foot player in. Nice touch. Played well during the tournament last year. They had a great run when they beat Auburn. And they beat St. John's. That was an unbelievable performance they put on over in Knoxville.
Well, that's where Jimmy said they played far and away their best 80 minutes of basketball the entire year.
Yeah, they really were brilliant out there. Had to beat a good Detroit team as well, and Murray State in the first round.
Murray State,
yes, sir.
Very good first-round opponent.
They got the longest win streak in America, the Racers, right now at home court. And the bottom line, they got a point guard that's outstanding, Aubrey Reese.
Chenoweth, 8 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double here in the first half.
And that's been lacking. Last year, he averaged a double-double against all the Big 12 teams. They haven't seen it out of him this year. Nice look. Great look.
Reese, the recipient.
Yeah, Reese running the court. Stayed at home at Columbus, Ohio, at a great institution. Why should I leave? I got a great school right here. But these kids aren't going away. These kids are just tough mentally and physically.
And dishes it back out, and Red looks over and says, Scooney, about 5 feet to the right.
Going to take this look right here. Nice diagonal pass. Great catch by Reese. The conversion. I didn't see that bad pass. I picked them as the best backcourt in America. They came up to me today and said, we're going to prove you right. Just give us time. It's early. It's early. I said, guys, you're not playing like that.
Turnovers, Ohio State 11, KU 8, but KU led by a bunch early. Ohio State has turned it over in the last 6 minutes.
Yes, sir. There's Drew Gooden getting in the lane, no run. And the turnover has been converted the other way by Ohio, by Kansas. They've done a great job taking the turnover and converting off it. And Scooney
working outside against Penn.
Might have got away with a little carry. There's the double up.
Axtell almost gets the steal.
You got to look opposite. Someone's got to post to the middle. Darby, a freshman. He's been hurt. Came out of Detroit. Played at River Rouge High School in the Detroit area. High school with great basketball tradition. They had a coach, Lofton Green, years ago. It was so special.
16 seconds on the shot clock. 15 seconds difference between that and the game clock. Penn is off the mark there. Knocked around, and here comes Gooden.
He's got to give it up to the middle. Getting a lot of motion offensively. Toughest guy to play. We've often talked about is a guy moving without the ball.
Reese knocked it away, and then
Johnson.
By Johnson.
He's one of the real human erasers in the game, along with Kenyon Martin.
Kansas with the timeout with 2.3 seconds.
Thomas Dennett, Syracuse, another great shot blocker. You're going to see right here. Here goes Gooden again, but here comes Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson's down. Get it out of the lane. One of the most improved players in college basketball from where he was as a freshman.
Well, one of the things that you said had to occur for Ohio State to stay in this basketball game tonight was Johnson had to be active and he had to stay out of foul trouble. He only has one. He got it early, but he's done a nice job of continuing to play aggressively and getting his ball club back in it. Now 6-point game.
I think Jim would be the first to agree. They have not played like the expectations. And what's happened right now, as you look at Ken Johnson, everywhere they go, people really play at another level. And that's a sign that you have to learn as a team to be able to handle that. Over the years, the Dukes, the Carolinas, the great programs, Kansas, the Arizonas, they've been able to handle that. And that's part of being great, Ron, to be able to handle when people are coming after you every time they play against you.
2.3 seconds, inbounds pass. Chenoweth knocked in the air, and it is blocked, and Red got a hand on it. So it is halftime. It is a head to the locker room. Our score, Kansas 35 and Ohio State 29. Now let's send it to Chris Fowler and Jay Billis. The Courtyard by Marriott. Halftime report. Gentlemen.
Ron, thank you. The Buckeyes, Jay, hanging in there with good defense. We've talked about it. Johnson with more blocked shots than field goal attempts, and the problem's on the offensive end.
Yeah, Ken Johnson needs to get more involved for Ohio State. Kansas did a very good job in that first half of defending Ohio State off the dribble. Whenever there was a screen on the ball, Kansas was out there trapping it. Sometimes Ohio State handled it well, got the ball into the hands of an open shooter like Scooney Penn, who drained it. Other times they turned it over. Kansas did a nice job with their run and jump defense, and they're really pounding the ball inside. They're not as efficient as they're going to be, but Kansas is a good basketball team. They've got a real shot, I think, toward the end of the season of being a team that could get to the Final Four.
Well, coming up at halftime, we're going to show you a big man who can handle it. He can shoot it. He can do just about everything. DeMar Johnson for Cincinnati. Highlights of the game against the Billikens on the Courtyard by Marriott halftime report straight ahead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the new Lincoln LS, Lincoln American Luxury, and by Maglite, the perfect gift to brighten the holidays. Maglite.
We expected as far as up and down, but Dick, specifically the defense of Kansas and the traps gave Ohio State trouble.
Yeah, they really did, and I thought it forced Scooney Penn to take some bad shots. He shot 3 for 12, and that's not going to get it done for your All-American on the road. We're going to take a look at a little bit trapping here by Ohio State. Take a look right here. We see them go into a trapping situation. Freeze it right here. You trap here. Now he has got to step to the basketball. They're going to rotate out on him. Now watch right here. The big guy Johnson's got to step to the ball. Now they're going to bring the ball to the basket. Now look at the defense. Rotate over. Create the turnover. Now up they go. They really get out in transition after the turnover. They're an outstanding team converting from the defensive end to the offensive end. As you look here, field goal percentages, 34% for Ohio State. I think created by some of those traps.
You know, one of the things to look at right down there on the bottom line, 10 points from the bench. KU has been outscoring their opponents 33.7 to 19.3 off the bench.
Well, I go to their bench a lot more. I don't think that really shocks me totally, Ron, because they don't have a deep team at all when you look at Ohio State. And now, especially playing without Savovich, a guy that would have given them a three-point shooting touch from out on the perimeter. I think a guy like Johnson's got to get more active and get more touches inside. Only took 3 shots in the first half. Actually, 2 shots.
The two total points, and Bochy opens it up and ignites him. Individual scoring, Gregory with 10, Chenoweth with 8, Penn with 12, and Red with 7.
Well, he did a great job going right inside. Low post play inside to Bochy to Chenoweth, and Chenoweth converted.
Chenoweth now with double figures.
He's going to have a double-double tonight.
Yeah, but that rebound right there. Chenoweth, and he says, let's make it a dozen.
I'll tell you, he likes that foul line. He was watching me shoot before, and I was on fire here before. Had this crowd going nuts. They couldn't believe my touch.
Dickie's version of on fire.
I love this place.
You have to. This is one of the treasures of college basketball.
See, Michael really forced that shot right there. Not really a good shot. They got to be a little more patient offensively. Got to make the extra pass.
Collison
No way should that pass be thrown over the top. It is a TO, baby, by Jim O'Brien, and he will remind them of that. There's no way that pass should have been executed. Thrown right over the top of the defense with a Johnson on the inside.
Long, largest lead of the night at 41-29. NCAA tournament last year, and Dick, when you make it as far as they did, you got a target on your back. And this is the opening game this year at Notre Dame.
David Graves, and they're celebrating down in South Bend, Indiana. The Golden Dome shines, and Matt Doherty gets his first W, and they cannot believe it in Columbus.
You know, the other thing is, we talked with Jimmy at the shoot-around today. The thing that is tougher than your schedule also is expectations of the alumni, the kids that graduated. You got to knit in everybody. You got to get them to work together. And a couple of those guys who are really missed are good basketball players that they're going to have to plug in somebody else.
You're right. They missed the kid Singleton. He was an outstanding defensive.
particular.
And then Sanderson transferred, a guy that could play two positions, went to Ohio University. Anytime you deplete your depth factor, that's got to hurt you.
3 fouls on Bochy.
But they're going to win their share of games, Ohio State. You can count on that. They're going to be very tough to beat at home.
(41-29), as I mentioned, the largest lead of the night by Kansas.
And it's the first really big-time game they've had in a long time this year.
And continues to have shooting woes. That's going to be on Bradford over the bag.
You know, Ron, you look at their wins, their 4 wins in a row. All 4 teams do not have a winning record. And then you talk about the last game, Coastal Carolina played them as tough as can be, made 14 threes against them.
Actually, rather than Bradford, they gave it to Gregory, and it's his second.
Michael Redd's numbers just blow my mind. 13-61 coming into the year. 26-21, 31 is the record by Calbert Chaney in the history of the Big Ten. If this kid stays all 4 years, he's got a chance for that.
After this shot, I'll say it so I don't jinx it. That's his first miss of the year.
Yeah, he really was right up there on top. A lot of these guys are, you got Kenny Gregory, very high ranked in terms of field goal percentage. Ohio State is second in the nation with field goal percentage defensively. Number 1 is Stanford. What a year they're having. They're playing without Mad Dog Madsen, but the 2 college kids are doing a great job. They're not spectacular. They just do enough to win. They played well. They defended a rebound, Stanford.
Skinny Penn showing his quickness. Well, Red got away with a walk and an extra step beyond that. And Reese with a push.
Yeah, Red did a little dance up on top. A little frustration setting in. Jim O'Brien, what a job. He did a solid job at Boston College. Won 22 games his last year there. Left in a little bit of a controversy. I thought it was treated unfairly there. They kids who qualified NCAA. They committed, like Elton Tyler went to Miami, and Joey DePina at Mass, Michael Bradley went to Kentucky, now at Villanova. And none of those kids wore the uniform. As you see, Mr. Gregory slashing inside.
Well, he slashes and slashes well. 43-30, 13-point margin. And now a dozen for him.
Getting to a danger time right now for Ohio State.
And Red lights it up.
Red goes right into the gap and knocks that down.
11 points for him. Chenoweth blocked by Johnson. Johnson's got 3 blocks on the night.
And he's got a few shot changes, like right there. Johnson, a real factor and intimidator in the lane. He changed that look.
Take it back. He had 3 in the first half, so a total of 4 on the night for Johnson. Red with an air ball. And here's the break. And Bradford, well, he did catch up with it. Threw it right back to Scooty Penn.
Well, he tried to sneak out in transition after the shot by Red.
It's going to be a block on Chenoweth.
Down with that drive. Good move from out of Bishop Loughlin High School in Brooklyn.
Collison. I'm sorry.
They produced a guy by the name of Mark Jackson there, still playing in the NBA. Brown gives him a 3-guard look. A very quick player, came out of Brooklyn, New York. Jackson was phenomenal when he played at St. John's, now doing a solid job for Larry Bird and the Pacers.
Collison with 3, and Dick, he's fouled out of his last 2 games, and in fact, if you look at this entire year, he's fouled out 3 times already.
Well, you know, that happens with a lot of big players who are freshmen. They make a lot of silly contact fouls, and he got in foul trouble early against Michigan State. He's got a good post position inside and missed him.
Bradford, Johnson knocked it away for the foul.
Bradford's a slashing kind of player. Good feel for the game. Can play a number of positions on the floor. Very versatile as we look at Roy Williams. Very scholarly on that sideline.
Second foul on Johnson.
Found a home here. Really loves Kansas. A lot of people have been rumors that he'll be heading to North Carolina, but Bill Guthridge is not going anywhere for a while. I can tell you this. He told me he likes the job more and more with each day.
Here's what's amazing. This is only the 3rd free throw attempt by KU tonight.
And that's been a solid part of their defense when you look at Ohio State. Roy Williams, we talked about 312 wins.
First point by Bradford this evening.
And then won the Big 12 championship tournament play last year. Not the regular season. Texas won that. But then they've lost that unbelievable match with Kentucky in the NCAA tournament in overtime.
Well, Ken, they have really put pressure on him all night.
Yeah, they're really making him work. And that's what you got to do. Try and really make him work.
Picking him up 10 feet, 15 feet before midcourt is Chenoweth. They say is reaching over the back. 2 on him now. Boshi out. Heinrich will check in.
Look at Chenoweth trying to beat him to the spot. Trying to deny him the basketball, but he gets caught with the push. Doesn't step to the basketball quick enough. You know, you mentioned Collison. He broke Mike Krzyzewski's heart. They thought they were going to get him down at Duke. But Duke has really got their share of diaper dandies. And finally, Mr. Boozer played brilliantly against Michigan. Had a big-time game with 25 points and 10 rebounds. We've had so many great matchups early in the year, Ron. We've eliminated a lot of the cupcakes. And I'll tell you one thing, I think that's what toughens you up. And that's really lacking for Ohio State, not having enough. And that's where they were hurt losing to Notre Dame in that first round. They thought they were going to get 3 games in the NIT.
Brown on the fly, but a nice job by Bradford getting back in transition and cutting off the lane.
Brown is a good defensive player, by the way. He gives him a 3-guard look with Red and Penn. Some touches to Johnson inside. Let him feel the basketball. He's got to get a little active and want it. Nice drive by Brown. He's got that slashing ability. He's starting to get open lanes in the basket. They're concentrating so much on Penn and Red.
That's right. He averages almost 10 a game, but he also averages 12 assists a game. He's got 7 tonight. Good. Reverses it.
Not a good shot right there. 2-on-1. Got to make the play right here.
Kicked by Heinrich. And we'll take a break. 15:02 left in our ball game, and it's KU 45. Point that you were making a moment ago. We talked to Roy Williams, and he made the point of why he plays the difficult schedule that he does.
I want to know a true test of how good we are. I don't want some easy schedule and make us think we're really good, and all of a sudden you play somebody that is good and it means something, and you're shocked by how tightly they can cover you or how strong they are. So to me, I think it's our advantage to try to play this, and we learn a lot about our team.
Well, that's why records really are tough to evaluate early in the season, because people right now, some play a lot of automatics, get a lot of W's, and other people play big-time schedule. Look at it right now, Kentucky. They play a dynamite schedule, and that's why they're sitting at 4-4. Take a look at Michigan State. I mean, they have been playing an unbelievable early season schedule. It's not Cupcake City down there.
Johnson.
Oh, yeah. See, get the ball in deep to the big guy. Nice little spinning hook shot in the lane.
4 points for him now. And it's back to a 5-point game.
Again, there's that mental toughness that they prevail with. I'll tell you, most teams, the way Kansas jumped on them, would have folded. This club's not going to fold. I've seen teams fold here so quickly against Kansas when they get a double-figure lead.
Yeah, this crowd can really pump them up as Reese came down with that rebound. And let's see what Penn can do. Top to the hook.
Oh, tipped inside.
And I was unsighted. It was Johnson, wasn't it?
I thought it was Reese. I'm not sure. I thought it was Reese, but I'm blind in my left eye, and that's to my left side. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the call.
Johnson.
It was Johnson. KJ gets it.
But I was in your way. So.
No. I'm blind on that side. I took a little guessing game right there. Jim O'Brien's got to like the toughness of his kids. As you see Scooty Penn taking it to the rack. They don't come much tougher inch for inch, pound for pound. He was like Sugar Ray, man. Sugar Ray Leonard, pound for pound, inch for inch was the best, baby.
3-point game. You can see Axtell is back in the lineup.
Not a good pass right there. Didn't have the good angle for that entry, Scooty.
See George Reese signaling with the palm down, calm it down a little bit. They try to get the trap on Penn.
They try to get a little two-man game. Bad pass right there by Reese. Axtell with the steal, going to go to the basket, gets fouled. You know, you look at the Big 12 right now. The Big 12's a lot tougher than a lot of people thought. Oklahoma has an outstanding team. They got an unknown backcourt, led by J.R. Raymond. I mean, Kelvin Sampson's club's undefeated. They'll be bringing Cincinnati down there next week on ESPN. Naharaj, outstanding.
Yep.
Outstanding. They got a really good young dynamite backcourt. Oklahoma State, they got veterans in the backcourt. Gottlieb is passing the ball exceptionally well, playing really well. Atkins and Desmond Mason, they're undefeated as well. Texas with Mim, and that gang is certainly going to be tough. I mean, the Big 12 is a lot better than everybody projected.
Kansas extends it now back to 5 points.
And now Kansas rotates into a zone. Let's see if they can get in the gap and get Red open for that three. He's a very streaky shooter, not a great shooter. He's a great scorer, but a streaky perimeter shooter. Darby with that shot. He's got flair, this kid. He's got that flair. He's got some style.
Out there for Collison.
Axtell's got that pizzazz and that style to his game.
Scooting with the reverse move against Heinrich. Oh, couldn't get it to go. Collison would clear the board.
If that went in, we're going to give him degree of difficulty of 5.
Heinrich out of control. Yep.
Yes, sir. You beat me to the punch, Mr. Franklin. My partner working a little pain here. He's been out with a back injury, but he's coming back strong as ever.
Jimmy O'Brien and I talked more about backs than we did basketball today, huh?
Yeah, here's Heinrich. Here he is now, Ron. He's going out of control. Out of control right there.
2 fouls on Heinrich. 3 team fouls. Ohio State 5 against the Jayhawks.
They got the crowd a little quiet right now. Ohio State. They're silencing down a little bit. Trying to spread the floor, trying to get good spacing. They pop it out of Darby's hands.
London. And Marlin almost has his pocket picked. In fact, that's a good no call by Donnie Gay. The crowd wanted a foul.
London can shoot the basketball. He's really played really well in their preseason. Earned a lot of minutes at the number 2 slot. Backing up Mr. Gregory. It's not going to get any easier for Kansas. They got that date with Illinois coming up, and Frank Williams is starting to really develop an understanding of how to play the point.
Axtell.
That's another one of those reverse miracle shots. Got Johnson as a trail.
Gooden, nice job of hustle with him in transition to cut off the lane on the left. And then they get the ball back because of his hustle.
What a poor job by Ohio State right there in terms of not recognizing Johnson in transition. He was the trail man. You got to flip it back to him. Right now, you got to flip it back. Freeze it right here. Freeze it. See this guy right here? He's trailing a play. He's got to get the basketball. Mr. Johnson, they don't even look at him. You got to communicate and yell, I'm behind you, Michael, I'm behind you.
Gooden.
Oh, yes, he knows what to do with it down in the low blocks. I'll tell you one thing. He knows what to do with it, Mr. Gooden. Good and plenty.
Half a dozen for Gooden.
Johnson and Collison battling inside. Double up, find the open man. Somebody's open. As soon as you get a touch inside and 2 men attack you.
Timeout. 7-point Kansas lead.
Ron, learning the art of recognizing the open man is so important for your big people. And right here, Kenny Johnson doesn't get a feel for the open man. We're going to watch how he gets good post position against Collison inside. Now we're going to see the double up. Freeze it right here. See the double up? Here comes the double up. Now right out here on the perimeter is going to be an open man. Watch this right here as we see him. Freeze it again. See, right here, he's got to turn and look to the open guy. Scooty Penn's got an open shot, but he doesn't see him. He turns his back to Scooty, and there is the turnover. Good job defensively by Kansas attacking on the inside. They got a lot of size, Kansas.
Dick, one of the big differences for Ohio State in the second half as you look at the players. 6 players for KU 6'9" or taller, only 1 for Ohio State. Johnson 3 of 4, 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Only had 2 points in that first half, but he has come alive in the second half.
Yeah, we said he had to be the key player. They needed his presence on the interior.
London, 8-footer.
Gets that medium-range jump shot. That's something that's missing from a lot of clubs. I've said you need 4 areas of the floor to be a great team. The perimeter jump shot, you need the medium-range jump shot, you need low post play, and you got to execute special situations, make foul shots, and attack pressure defenses.
What a nice move by Red. The three-pointer is good. Knocked down by Brown.
You know, Brown, a streaky kind of shooter as well, but has stepped up here in the second half. But a good look by Michael Red to create that opportunity. He just wants to win. You know, his freshman year put a lot of points on the board. As you see the entry into Collison, good low post entry. Put a lot of points, was the leading scorer in the Big Ten. First freshman ever to do that, but they only won 8 games, and it certainly wasn't his fault.
Brown now in double figures. He's got 10 points for Ohio State.
Well, getting a little more balance rather than just relying on Red and Penn.
Well, right. Penn with 12, 11 for Red.
Look at that hustle. Look at that hustle.
Great hustle.
Look at that hustle. They think he'll be a star. You can see why the Dukies wanted him badly. He said no to Duke. He said no to Iowa. He said, I love to be a Jayhawk. And they love him. Oh, they love him in Jayhawk land. College basketball, nothing like a campus run. Nothing like being at a campus facility. Now watch Collison step in the lane, converts it with a quick move to the basket. He reminded me of Jay Billis when he played at Duke.
Well, as we mentioned off the top of the telecast today,
I love those diaper daddies, baby. Oh,
last day of exams here, but nobody went home. Jam-packed house, and they love this basketball team, and there's not a better arena in America. I know there's some tough ones, but this one here, I don't think you could ever build a new one on this campus.
No, this is special. But it's certainly special down at Cameron Indoor Stadium. What I like about that place, the students are right on top of the court. That's one place where they give the students priority, down at Cameron Indoor Stadium. It's just so special. I mean, you talk about favorites. I love Cameron, love it here. I love going to Bloomington to see the General Robert Montgomery Knight when he strolls out with that red sweater. Carolina, with all its tradition, it's majestic when you walk in that place.
Scooty Penn scoreless in the second half, 0 for 4.
Not for long.
Not for long.
He heard you, Ron.
Answered
he heard you.
At the 9:45 mark.
He's a big-time guard, baby. I love Scooty Penn. He can play for me any day. He's just such a competitor. Tell somebody, will you? Somebody tell these kids they're only freshmen. Somebody tell them they were only in high school a few months ago. Guys like Collison and Gooden.
They are not intimidated, are they?
Oh, wow.
Almost stolen by London.
I saw those diaper daddies in New York. They weren't intimidated by Madison Square Garden, Gardner, and Arenas of Arizona.
Shot clock is at 10. Red pulls the trigger and hits the 3.
That was a big-time play right there.
Man.
That was a big-time play.
They needed it. Down by 10.
He was the bomb.
47.
Oh, he was the bomb right there, baby. Stuart Scott, we call him. He was the bomb. He's got a little Pistol Pete bop to him, doesn't he? He's got that little Pistol Pete bop. Look at him. Look at him.
Well, he's off tonight.
That Pistol Pete, what have you done with that three-point line? He would have been incredible. Average 40 without it.
Well, Sports Center coming up. Kenny Mayne and Carl Ravitch, a battle on the boards. It's Shaq and Dikembe. Question of the night: who should win a title? And over the hill, Grizzlies fire their coach. That and more. Sports Center coming up next, right after our game.
Sports Center up next. Wow. Kenny Mayne got in town here and made that sign up. He made that sign up.
3 fouls on Heinrich.
See, but they can rotate 2 people out there so the fouls don't become big when you bring Boshi right off the bench.
Boshi with 3, Collison with 3, Heinrich now with 3.
They got enough people they can rotate. Quality people come off that bench for Kansas.
16 fouls against the Jayhawks, and there's Red.
That's a big-time offensive play. He's just got to get a little bit more consistent from the three-point line, but he's got the package to score.
Every time Ohio State falls down by 10 or 11, then they're back to a 5-point margin and just under 8 to play. We got a good finish here coming up.
And then Leder or Penn make a big play, and that's why they're stars.
Gregory, that's Penn with the foul. He just whacked him across the top.
Not a bad foul. Ken Gregory has made 8 out of 23 this year on the foul line. And the previous 2 years didn't shoot 50% either.
That's the one thing, and it is, boy, it's between his ears. Last year, I thought at the time late in the season, Dick, that he didn't want to go to the free throw line. He's shooting 43% this year.
Well, you know, psychologically it becomes a problem
34.
for you. You really, really struggle. You see the numbers. You read about it in the paper. Students talk about it. Now they get real, real quiet. Puts even more pressure, I believe, on them.
Yep. That 34% just dropped.
And that really hurts because late in the game, it's tough for you to keep one of your stars on the floor. Look at the field goal percentage. Transition, jams. Certainly not a perimeter player, but he does what he does best, and that is attack the basket.
He missed both of those badly, and the tip.
Did they get a tip on that one?
Well, Jim O'Brien is asking that.
Yeah. Did they get a tip or did that go in for 1?
I think they're going to give him the free throw.
I thought they should. I didn't think that was a tip. I didn't think it was a tip.
So we'll let you know when we get back. But they gave him a free throw. Timeout in Lawrence. So on the Gregory free throw, watch the hand. I think it's Ashante Johnson. Watch his hand, and he actually makes the rim go down. Right.
Oh, yeah, he definitely touches the rim. There's the hand right on it. I tell you, it was not a pretty free throw. Not pretty, to say the least, but it went down to Mr. Gregory. That's very pretty. Ashante Johnson, a big-time jumper, started his career at Utah before going to junior college. Utah is going to be such a better team when Metala is in the lineup. He's been out with an injury.
6-point game, just under 7.5 to play.
Trying to show some patience against the zone now. Trying to overload. Well, they set a screen up, a little fade screen for Mr. Penn.
Nice job by Gregory defensively. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Way outside, and that one's off the mark. Chenoweth will get it.
Chenoweth getting big numbers tonight.
Yeah, he is. Double-double. We mentioned that. Almost had it in the first half.
He's the trail man in that transition game, the secondary phase, and he slides inside to the post. Nice pass. Great extra look. Trademark. A trademark of Kansas basketball.
First
shot selection.
I'm sorry. First 2 by Ashante Johnson.
Nice pass by Kenny Gregory off that dribble move.
I think Boshi just picked up his 4th foul.
He's a very physical player. He's very physical. He's very tenacious. But he's got to understand their eyes watching some of those little maneuvers, and it's going to get him on a sideline.
Well, I beg your pardon. Johnson is, but from where we are sitting, I thought Jimmy Bird looked directly at Bochy because Coach Williams was going nuts. He thought, whoop, I just going to have to put my guard back on the bench.
He had a choice. He could have went for several. See Neil Doherty standing there as well. God, I'll be heading for a head coaching job soon.
Now, is he going to change this and say Bochy? So who the foul shooter should be?
See, they're arguing and saying get Red off the line. Red's only missed 1 all year.
That's right, and Reese is a 50% free throw shooter.
That's a pretty good trade right there. I see Johnson call right here, but you could have had one on Mr. Bochy. It's not seen in this situation. Oh, you can't allow that kind of contact. You can pull on either guy, really.
Well, George Reese.
The alertness
that one was not pretty either.
Well, you know, the alertness of the Kansas staff to be able to recognize that. The wrong guy on a free throw line.
Bochy.
He's not afraid to shoot it, and he can shoot it 62% right now for the year.
That's huge as we're about to go under 6 minutes, back to an 11-point margin, and now this crowd really into it.
Turnover city created by this crowd. They give you that emotional left. Now it's Jeff Bochy showing why he's a 60% shooter from up on top. There he is, NBN, nothing but nylon. Oh, I tell you, young kids out there, pound that rock. Work on that long-range jump shot that gives you such an extra dimension.
Bochy down with 8.
Twilight Gardner and Jason Williams can knock it from there as well for Duke.
Bradford couldn't get it to go. That's a nice rebound by Red.
Not a good shot in your offensive system when you look at Kansas right there. They'd like to have that possession back. Trying to swing it side to side. Trying to break the defense down with a little ball reversal. He says, I'm going to go right up to the rim.
Gooden. Got to go under 5 minutes in this one.
They need some stops here quickly.
Boy, with a hand in his face.
And normally doesn't shoot well from the perimeter. They may need a TO, baby. May need a TO. It's getting away.
15 points for Gregory.
Yes, sir. He's playing for those bragging rights back in the city of Columbus.
Now Bochy has his 4th foul.
Look at Jim O'Brien. I mean, there's the fiery Irishman on that sideline. I'll tell you, I was so shocked when you look at Bochy with his 4th, that Randy Ayers at the end did not get it done. I thought he had stardom all over. As you look at Gregory now shooting a little jumper, he started off his career, things were so positive. He seemed to have the whole package as a coach. Ohio State was in great shape, and it just seemed all of a sudden to fall away. It's great that Larry Brown's giving him an opportunity now as an assistant coach with the 76ers. Gary Williams did a heck of a job when he was at Ohio State.
Big hand for Bochy as he goes out. Heinrich will come back in at the 4:52 mark. 13-point ball game.
I'll tell you one thing down there. They love their Buckeyes in all their sports. They got a passion for them in Columbus. It was great today to hear Jim O'Brien sing the praises of his AD. How much he really loved working for Andy Geiger, who also played a big role in the success of Mike Montgomery down at Stanford when he was there.
Chenoweth lost it, thought he was fouled. Jimmy Burr says no.
Every time it looks like they're going to get away, as Royce signaling, look at him flashing out one, get into the one defense. Come on, one defense. They're going to trap out of this. They're going to trap out of this 2-3. They show, once the ball's entered to the wing, you'll see them go to a little trap.
Scooney pin. Couldn't get it to go. Here's Bradford.
Got to give it up to the middle and get it back. He says, no, I'm giving it to the diaper down there. Nicky C, baby. They're going to love Nicky C in Lawrence, Kansas. I've seen flashes tonight why they all love him. He's got double figures, Ron. Nicky C with a little jam to the rack. Oh, Kansas Jayhawk is alive. As the zone defense going to make him shoot it over the top. I think they got to learn to get more touches inside for Johnson. This baby's getting away from the Buckeyes.
So the defense and a transition game for the Jayhawks. Whew, it has been the difference here in the second half. And this young man, what a show.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by ESPN Sports Century, 100 years, 1,000 moments. In bookstores now.
Well, it's 67-54 Kansas. Don't forget SportsCenter coming up immediately following our game. Battle of the boards, Shaq and Dikembe. Question of the night, who should win a title? And the over-the-hill Grizzlies can their coach.
Well, you know, the coach gets fired, but you look at their personnel. How are you going to win with that personnel? They got some good young kids there, but Brian Hill really didn't have much of a shot. Look at this, Merry Christmas. The Fog Fanatics are going bananas. They told me, hey, we're even louder than your Cameron Crazies. Gregory, that's where he excels. He's got that nose for the basket. He's so explosive inside.
Biggest lead of the night at 15.
Yeah, really playing well right now. Kansas getting good execution, forcing Ohio State to shoot the perimeter J, getting nothing on the inside and taking away Ohio State's transition.
Making him, not there.
Making him shoot that perimeter jump shot.
Well, now let's take a look at our Heineken storyline for tonight's game. Pin and red, 10 of 35 tonight. No points from the bench for Ohio State, which is hard to believe. 38 points in the paint for Kansas. Chenna with 12 points, 12 boards.
Yeah, his first double-double. You know, we were talking about good teams. I said Oklahoma State look like they're going to be really outstanding, both undefeated. There are three teams that haven't lost yet that I really don't know yet how good they are. LSU, the kid Swift, is playing phenomenal basketball, but they haven't beaten really quality clubs. Minnesota, we don't know about them yet, and we really don't know, I don't think, enough about North Carolina State. They've had some good wins, but they got to do it in conference play. But I do like the fact they beat Georgia. As you see, Gregory going out of the game. I think Herb Sendik's team, when they get Kenny Inge back, could be an upper first division club in the ACC this year. Syracuse and Tennessee are going to have, I think, great years.
Gregory, well, some people thought that he might be a little tight tonight in his battle with the home folks. 17 points, 8 of 11 from the field. What an out.
Yeah, because they're all shots that he knows he's capable of around the basket. And the one thing I like about him, he knows his strength. He doesn't try to prove that he can do something that he can't.
Kansas with a 10-2 run, and KU with 6 players with at least 8 points.
You know, North Carolina State also did beat Purdue at Purdue, so that was a great win for them as well. You look at a rivalry, high school kids, but it's not about that. It's about winning this game. When you talk about kids here, they want to get that W, feel good. And right now, Kansas looks like they're on their way. I saw the bus driver just about now go down through the hallway and get ready to start to warm up the bus, Mr. Franklin. Hasn't turned the key on yet, but getting ready.
Well, Sunday night at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN, Sunday Night Football. It's Buffalo and Arizona. Tonight, ABC Sports, Monday Night Football live at 9, Green Bay and Minnesota. Both teams at 7 and 6. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football.
And the name where I live, baby, is Sean King. The name where I live is the Tampa Bay Bucks and Mr. Sapp. And the Bucks are on clock. And what about my double race? I'm excited. You see what they got? Vinny Castilla, Greg Vaughn. Wow, I'm helping pay their salaries. I had to write my check the other day for my season tickets. Help me out. You won't believe what they want. But it's worth it. I can't wait to see them next year. Oh, nice little baseline move by Scooty.
Scooty knocks it down. Now he's got 18.
I think it's going to be tough to trap this club. They're so well drilled. They're in the right place on the floor against the traps.
Bradford couldn't get it to go.
Had that open 15-foot shot. Got to knock that down against that pressure. Johnson, give him some touches. Scooty Penn showing his slashing. Not Scooty. Michael Red showing his slashing ability.
20 for him now.
As soon as I think of Ohio State, I think of Penn and Red. Penn and Red. And whenever you think of Ohio State, Jerry Lucas, John Havlicek, Clark Kellogg. Jerry Lucas, when you make an argument for the best players to ever play the game in college basketball, I mean, you got to think about the name Jerry Lucas in that mix. My Super 7 have been my scintillating 7. I go with Mr. Bird. I go with David Thompson, Louis Alcindor, Kareem, Oscar, Jerry West, Pete Maravich, and Jerry Lucas. That's my Super 7 in the history that I've observed in college basketball. They have really tried to get Chenoweth really involved here today. You know what's so beautiful? I looked up on a banner up there and I saw the jersey number of Wilkes-Stilt Chamberlain. And it was so beautiful that he finally came back to the university because there was some unbelievable bad feelings of divorce almost that he didn't come here and came back for that big celebration Bob Frederick
and he
put
was so
together.
touched.
He was so touched. He wore the varsity jacket. Lost his life so young. Such a dominant player. The man was one of the greatest athletes ever to lace him up.
Boshi now has double figures also.
The bus driver's starting the engine right now, Ron. He's warming up the engine.
Chenoweth with the block.
Ohio State's going to be heard from, though, in the Big Ten. That battle's going to come down between Michigan State, Illinois, Ohio State. Indiana will be right up there. I can't wait to see Indiana. I know they lost to Indiana State, but in the Jimmy V Classic, and that Classic to me is so special because of our guy Jimmy V, who battled cancer so courageously. And to have Indiana play in North Carolina next Tuesday, and then Rutgers, Jimmy's alma mater, taking on Florida with all that talent as Johnson goes to the foul line. I could just say this to the people out there, Ron. Our people at ESPN asked me to try and mention about the Jimmy V Classic. It meant so much to Jimmy at the end of his life, battling cancer, that he said to his buddies, hey guys, try to beat that disease, but don't quit. Just go out and raise as much money. And that's what it's all about. We're trying to raise money to battle that dreaded disease. Anybody out there that's listening, if you've been touched by Jimmy Valvano, you loved what he did when he coached on that sideline in North Carolina State, call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V and make a donation at this holiday season to try and help others who are really battling that disease.
Couldn't agree more. Well, I think the bus driver hears the chant going on in here, and he knows it's a good time to turn on the ignition. 71-62 with 73 seconds left.
Yes, sir. This baby's history. You and I are going to get in the highway, and we're heading out to Kansas City to get to the airport hotel, my friend. And you are driving.
Let me tell you something. And Lorraine knows this. I wouldn't dare let you behind that wheel.
I don't trust the one-eyed driver. It's been fun. Glad to have you back.
Hey, thank you. I've enjoyed this. It's kind of what we thought. Two ball clubs, both still searching for a lot of things. Roy Williams said before the basketball game tonight, quite frankly, I'm a little worried about my team. I think we're going to wind up being very good. But we still got a lot of combinations to try to work out. And I think Jimmy O'Brien feels the same way. And he's got to get a couple of people that are ill right now and get them back in the lineup. Savovich is one of those.
Yeah, he's a big-time three-point shooter. They need Bobon's shooting ability. As you look at Roy, he's got a date, as we said, with Illinois, and I love that Illinois team. I really salute Frank Williams. After a bad game against Duke, he didn't pout and sulk. He looked at the tapes, he went out and worked on his game, and he has improved immeasurably, understanding how to play the point. And with he and Bradford and Griffin inside, they got themselves a heck of a team there at Illinois. And two matchups
right here, the timeout called by KU.
And you and I were talking to Jim today. The two matchups I'd love to see is DePaul play Illinois and Cincinnati play Ohio State. But I don't know. There's some not good feeling over the recruitment of Damon Flint a few years ago between Cincinnati and Ohio State. But that would be a great, great matchup. Both great programs. Bobby Huggins has got that program on top of the ladder now. Peter Michaels, so tough, tenacious player. They got an outstanding diaper dandy duo with Satterfield and DeMar Johnson. Skip Ross's gang of Xavier Saturday night will be emotionally all charged. And you never know. Could be upset city.
10-point ball game with 1:01 to play.
Oh, hey, who's that? Wow, I signed that autograph there.
Wanted to know who the blonde was.
You know, we've been doing so many games in big-time arenas like all over the country, United Center, Market, Madison Square Garden. There's nothing like the college campus, Ron. Nothing. When I went down to Duke and here, I mean, that's where college basketball just gets the energy, the enthusiasm, the spirit. Roy Williams averaging better than 27 wins a year. My, that is absolutely mind-boggling. You know, I talked about that 97 team that was 34-2, lost to Arizona. Another great statistic with that team, all those players graduated. All the guys that were seniors that year, they all walked down and got their diplomas, led by Jock Vaughn and Haas and company. Paul Pierce becoming a great player with the Celtics out forward. Second guard, swing. Nick Collison going back in the action.
Chenoweth with his fourth.
Yeah, they're going to be happy with Chenoweth's effort today. They got to really be happy that he put some points on the board, got some rebounds, and they just got to build his confidence up. He's too important to this team.
There's no question about that, and I think that's one of the reasons that Roy sat down with him and the other assistant coaches and tried to really help him with some advice, because the kid was so frustrated. His quote to the paper was, you know, he said, a lot of things I love, but basketball is just right up there at the top of the list. It's what I've always done best, and I don't know how to handle this.
Yeah, he said he really was frustrated with the negative publicity, especially in the school paper. And none of us like negative publicity. I mean, I crawl in and I hide when I get it. I hate it. You hate it. We all hate it.
Scooney. No, I beg your pardon. It's 13 Brown. Called for the hold. Now this last 60 seconds may take a while to play.
Getting real sloppy, really sloppy right now. It's academic, the result, it's history. Jim O'Brien's club will learn a lot. The one thing he's going to be able to do after a game like this is certainly get the attention of his troops and say, guys, you know, we won 4 in a row, but obviously we didn't play the caliber of competition that you're going to have to beat to be able to get back up on top of the Big Ten, challenging the teams we have to challenge. And that means get back in the gym and work and work. And I think one of the areas they have to really improve on is get more scoring inside out of Johnson.
Red's got 20 points and 10 rebounds. Double-double for him.
There's his buddy Gregory, 2 high school kids out of Columbus. Gregory got away, Mr. Basketball in Ohio, came out here to Lawrence, Kansas, and Michael Red stayed home.
Misses that one, and nice job in the follows. And timeout Johnson is called with Johnson scores.
Yeah, Johnson with a good offensive rebound.
Bench scoring. Ohio State zip KU 22.
The Ohio State not a deep team at all. Jim O'Brien's club doesn't have much depth. This guy understood guard play. He was a brilliant guard when he played at St. Bonaventure.
Well, Sports Century continues its countdown of the top 100 athletes of the 20th century. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern, number 6, Jesse Owens, followed by number 5, Wayne Gretzky at 10:30. And, of course, Jesse Owens attended this great University of Ohio State, 4 gold medals in the 1936 Olympics. And, of course, Gretzky, the NHL's all-time leading scorer.
I did a banquet one time with Jesse Owens years ago in Detroit. And he absolutely gave me goosebumps. The way he electrified the crowd. He was unbelievable. I had the good fortune 2 days ago to speak in front of 7,500 people in South Carolina. Shared the microphone with one of America's heroes, Colin Powell. And I'm going to tell you something, Ron. He is a treat beyond. And then also there was Larry King and Mr. Lou Holtz and company, the Peter Lowe Success Seminars. He's got that nice stroke, Coach. He really has that nice stroke, and he's got that toughness he brings to the table. He made some big shots for them last year when they ran the ropes on the road at the Palestria against Penn. Hey, I got to salute a kid tonight. Andre Lowry. You don't know the name. Half the country doesn't know the name. Played for Cal State Northridge. And all they did was beat Oregon at the MacArthur Court. And I'm going to tell you something. That's a tough place to win at. And Lowry had 22 points. And he used to play for Oregon. He said he dreamt of that game when he found out they were playing. And he was the star of stars. Andre Lowry.
Well, as Dick mentioned, this one has gotten very sloppy in the final minute of play. Most precincts reporting as Rock Chalk Jayhawk, the chant continues.
Cal State Northridge also beat Fresno State. I mean, it's amazing what's happened in college basketball already this year early. That means we're going to have another Gonzaga who went down there and beat UCLA by 16 and beat UCLA. See, there was a team we didn't know much about. They hadn't played a lot of big-time competition, and they got drilled by Gonzaga.
But that's great because this country loves an underdog.
Oh, they love the little guy, the Davids.
You know, Valpo the year before that?
Yes, sir. Coppin State, Tennessee Chattanooga. We'll have a team pop up during the tournament that'll get to the Sweet 16. Just another night here in Lawrence, Kansas, where they win and win and win. 72-3 now in their last 75 games. Had a 62-win streak broken here last year by Iowa, the Hawkeyes. My partner sat here and called that game.
Terry Nooner comes into the lineup. Very popular player. Walk on. He's a senior. And one of those that these are such good fans here. They recognize this kid's hustle and desire, and he is a bench player, and he understands that. He's a role player and understands exactly what that is. So every time Terry gets in the ball game.
Well, Terry understands the unbelievable thrill of putting on a Jayhawk uniform, the pride that goes with that jersey. They sell that here big time. There's such a passionate love for wearing a jersey here at Kansas.
Well, don't forget Sports Center standing by Kitty Mayne and Carl Ravitch, and among other things they're going to be talking about battle on the boards, and of course that's the battle with Shaq and Akimbe. But Sports Center coming up next, and it should be in 27.7 seconds.
Hey, what an unbelievable performance by Mutombo the other day. I mean, it was incredible, his numbers. Shaq's having an all MVP year right now with the Lakers. I think if you talk MVP, you'd have to talk about Mr. Shaq. What are you going to get me for Christmas? All I want for Christmas is, man, I wish I had some hair. I wish I had hair like Fowler and had the looks of Billis. My God, I'd make it in TV.
Oh, boy.
That bus driver's he's getting on ice outside. He's been sitting on that bus. He's got that baby turned on.
Well, now the crowd getting a little restless because this one has been over for a time, and they want to see it just go ahead and end.
Hey, we ran into Bill Hoskett today. Outstanding former Ohio State superstar.
He does their television.
Yes, he does.
Not on national television.
And great guy. Loves his Ohio State Buckeyes, and certainly loves Fred Taylor, his former coach. And the bottom line is he also was wearing that World Championship ring when he played with the Knicks for when they won those titles. Had that ring on very proudly. I used to love going to Columbus. A buddy of mine, Block's Bagels, go down here. If you're ever in Columbus, Ohio, you got to go to Block's Bagels. They got great bagels, Ron. I'm telling you, you go down there and do a Buckeye football game. Did they play football there this year?
You don't need to help Coach Cooper anyway.
Oh, I didn't mean that like that. I'm only kidding you.
They're going to be just fine.
Yes, sir. They're going to get some great players. You got that right.
Coop does a great job.
And one of those